Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago?
Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Am I better off now than I was 4 years ago? The answer to that is no. You can compare very easily how much better your life was with Donald Trump in office and how much worse you are now that Joe Biden is in office.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
You gotta be fucking kidding me!
Are you fucking kidding me?
You fucking kidding me?
You fucking kidding me?
You gotta be fucking kidding me!
We have to go back to that future, 2017 to 2020. We want those 4 years one more time.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the pussy.
People remember how good things were when Donald Trump was president.
Madam
I don't.
Secretary?
Yes, I'm being as clear as I can, sir. Respectfully, I'm trying to answer your question.
Yes or no, are we still putting children in cages?
To my knowledge, CBP never purposely put a child in a cage, if you mean a cage like this.
Purposely or whatever.
The sort of separation of kids from their families, the lying about it, the putting of kids in cages, I think is really reprehensible. And I think religious leaders, and people in general need to to call it what it is, which is sin.
Jews will not replace us! Jews will not replace us!
But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
He withheld the money, he withheld the meeting, he used it to coerce Ukraine to do these political investigations, he covered it up, he obstructed us, he's trying to obstruct you, and he's violated the Constitution.
Get up, get in the car. I can't move. I've been waiting the whole time, man. Get up, get in the car.
Mama.
Get up and get in the car right.
No justice, no peace.
During the late spring of 2020, it was not a foreign crisis, but the murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis that Esper calls a turning point in his time as Secretary of Defense.
What specifically was he suggesting that the U.S. military should do to these protesters?
He says, can't you just shoot them? Just shoot them in the legs or something. And he's suggesting that that's what we should do, that we should bring in the troops and shoot the protesters.
Folks have done better under Trump than they've done under Biden.
The United States on Wednesday surpassed 1 million coronavirus deaths, according to a Reuters tally, a once unthinkable milestone. The staggering loss of life has left gaping holes in American families. While the first outbreaks originally hit big cities, the virus also ravaged rural communities with limited access to medical care and had a disproportionate impact on Native communities and communities of color. According to researchers, more than 200,000 U.S. children lost at least one parent or primary caregiver to the pandemic. The precipitous loss of life at times overwhelming the nation's first responders, hospitals, and eventually morgues and crematoriums. In the U.S., as elsewhere, COVID preyed on the elderly and people with compromised health, but also killed more than 1,000 American children. The quick release of vaccines in late 2020 sparked hope, but was met with unexpected resistance as a flood of misinformation and political polarization kept millions of Americans from getting inoculated.
It's not a vaccine. It's the drug.
To the frustration of health officials, only 66% of the U.S. population is considered fully vaccinated.
It's mind-blowing. I can't believe that we have lost a million people.
Dr. Joseph Varon is chief of critical care and COVID-19 at United Memorial Medical Center in Houston, Texas. He made headlines around the world in 2020 when he said he was fighting two wars, one against COVID and one against stupidity.
The reason why we have lost a million people in this country is because of that fight against human stupidity. I can tell you that the number of deaths that we would have been much more smaller if people just listened and did the right thing, if they had a little bit of common sense.
Now, the virus that we're talking about having to do, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat. Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. And this is their new hoax. So supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do, either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
America was stronger when President Trump was in office.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it.
President Trump summoned the mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack.
If you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Are you fucking kidding me? Okay. Are you kidding me?
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.